Welcome to the Vegas Live Podcast. Look, if you're thinking about selling your Las Vegas home in 2026, I need to tell you something that might piss you off. You are probably going to lose 30 to 50K. Not because of the market, nah. Not because of the interest rates, nah. Not because of bad luck, nah. But because you are going to make the same 3 mistakes that almost every seller makes. Mistakes that are completely avoidable if you just understand how buyer psychology actually works. My name is Chris Cash. I'm your go-to Las Vegas listing specialist, and in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly what those mistakes are, why they cost you so much money, and what to do instead. No BS, no filler, just straight truth. Go. Mistake number 1, trusting Zillow's Zestimate like it's gospel, okay? Here's what happens, and I see it all the time. You check Zillow, you see a number. Let's say the homes, it's worth on Zillow $620K. You get excited like, oh man, okay, great. You know what? I'm gonna list it for $620K. No, maybe even $625K to leave room for negotiation. You call an agent, you list it, and then nothing. No showings, no offers. 2 weeks go by, 4 weeks go by, 6 weeks go by. Now you're panicking. You drop the price, $600K, still nothing. You drop again, $585K. Finally, you get an offer for $570K. Why? Because the Zestimate was wrong from the start. And here's the thing most people don't understand. Zillow's algorithm is guessing. It doesn't know that your neighbor's house that sold for the $630K had a brand new kitchen and a pool. It doesn't know that your house needs new carpet and the AC is 15 years old. It just is pulling public records and making an estimate based on square footage and zip code. According to Zillow's own data, their estimates are off by 5% or more about half the time. On a $600K home, that's $30K margin of error. So when you price your home based on a Zestimate, you're essentially gambling 30 to 50K of your own money. Here's what to do instead. Get a real comparative market analysis from someone who actually knows your neighborhood, your street, and what buyers are paying for right now. Not what they listed for, what they sold for. That's the only number that matters, okay? I believe it. Let's make it happen. All right, mistake number 2, and this is brutal. Pricing your home too high just to see what happens. I hear this all the time. We'll start high, and then we'll come down if we need to. I get it. Sounds good. Sounds logical, but here's what actually happens, and this is actually backed by behavioral psychology research. When you overprice your home, you trigger something called the anchoring effect. Anchoring means that the first number a buyer sees becomes their reference point for everything that comes after that. So when they see your home listed at $650K, and then they see 3 other comparable homes listed at $595K, what do you think they think? They think this seller's delusional. There must be something wrong with the house. Man, let's go ahead and keep looking. You just lost them. And here's the kicker. Even if you drop your price 2 weeks later to $620K, which is actually a fair price for it, they still will think it's overpriced because they've been anchored to that original $650K. Worse, they now think you're desperate, and desperate sellers get lowball offers. There's a study from the National Association of Realtors that looked at this exact scenario. Homes that were priced right from the start sold for an average of 102% of list price and spent an average of 22 days on the market. Homes that were overpriced and then reduced sold for an average of 94% of their final list price and spent an average of 68 days on the market. Let me put that in real numbers for you and your home. Home A listed at $600K sells in 3 weeks for $612K. Okay, home B listed at $650K, sits 6 weeks, drops $620K, sits 4 weeks, drops to $595K, finally sells for $580K. That's a $32K difference. Same house, different strategy. And the crazy part, home B actually ended up selling for less than what it was worth because buyers assumed something was wrong with it. This is why overpricing isn't just risky, it is expensive. And here's what to do instead. Price your home at the fair market value or slightly below. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds scary, but here's what happens when you do. You get more showings. You get more showing leads to get more interest. You get more interest, and that creates competition, and competition drives the price up. I've seen this play out over and over again. A home priced 5 to 10K below market gets 4 offers in the first weekend. Bidding wars. Sells for 15, 20K over ask. Strategic underpricing beats hopeful overpricing every single time. All right. Mistake number 3. Skipping the stuff that actually makes buyers fall in love with your home. Here is the truth. Buyers make emotional decisions and then they justify them with logic. Okay? They walk into your house and within 30 seconds, they have already decided if they like it or not. And if those first 30 seconds suck, if the front yard looks like a desert graveyard, if the house smells like wet dog, if there's clutter everywhere, they are already mentally checking out. It doesn't matter how nice the kitchen is. It doesn't matter that you just replaced the HVAC system. They've already made up their mind. This is called the primacy effect in psychology. First impressions stick. So here's what kills me. I see sellers spend $5K replacing the water heater. Sometimes buyers will never see or even care about that. And then they refuse to spend $300 on professional photos. They'll skip the deep clean, and then they'll skip the curb appeal. They'll skip the staging, and then they wonder why their home sits on the market for 60 days. Let me go ahead and give you the 80-20 rule of home prep. The stuff that actually moves the needle. Number 1, curb appeal. Your front yard, your front door, your driveway. This is the first thing buyers see. If it looks tired and weird, they're going to assume the house is tired and weird. It's going to cost you $300 to $800, but the ROI is $5K to $10K in perceived value. Deep clean and clutter. Everything, countertops, closets, baseboards, windows, grout. Get rid of the personal stuff. Make it feel like a model home. It costs you $200 to $400 or for free if you do it yourself. The ROI is priceless. This is the difference between and wow. Professional photos. Number 3, 92% of buyers start their search online. If your photos suck, they are going to scroll past and you'll never get them back. That's going to cost you $300 to $600. And the ROI is more showings, faster sale, higher price, easily 10 to 20K in value. Minor repairs. I'm talking about patch the holes, fix the leaky faucet, replace the cracked tile. Don't give buyers red flags. That's going to cost you $200 to $500. And the ROI is to avoid the $2K to $5K in buyer credits. But the total ROI is $15 to $35K later, right? And yet sellers skip this and they wonder why they're not getting offers. Here's what to do instead. Treat your home like a product that you're launching. You wouldn't launch a product if it had bad packaging and bad marketing, right? Same thing here. Invest in the stuff that matters, that shows, and skip the stuff that doesn't. All right. Let's tie all this together. Why do these 3 mistakes cost you so much money? Because buyers are emotional decision makers. And there are 3 psychological principles at play. Number 1, anchoring. The first number they see becomes the reference point. Number 2, loss aversion. They feel the pain of overpaying twice as much as the joy of getting a deal. And number 3, social proof. If your home is sitting on the market, they assume something is wrong with it. When you price wrong, you trigger anchoring. When you overprice, you trigger loss aversion. When you skip the prep, you lose social proof. And all 3 of those things cost you money. But when you do it right, when you price strategically, prep your home, and market it like a professional, buyers see a well-presented home, priced fairly, and then they think, this is a good deal. Other people are going to want this. I need to move fast. That's when you get multiple offers. That's when you get bidding wars. That's when you get 20 to 50K more than the guy down the street who listed high and hoped for the best. All right, so here is where we are at. You now know the 3 biggest mistakes Las Vegas sellers make. If you're serious about selling in the next 3 to 12 months, book a free Sell Smart strategy session with me. We'll pull your actual comps. We'll build your personal net sheet. We'll talk through timing. We'll create a 30-day action plan so you know exactly what to do. No pressure, no sales pitch, just clarity. Go to LasVegasIsForSale.com and grab a spot. I've got about a few spots left. If you're still in research mode, I'm hosting a free webinar next week called What Your Las Vegas Home Is Really Worth in 2026 and how to price, prep, and sell without leaving money on the table. It's about 50 minutes of a deep dive content and then live Q&A and a step-by-step action plan. You can register at LasVegasIsForSale.com as well. Either way, don't just sit on this. The longer you wait, the more money you are going to leave on the table. Look, I'm going to be real with you. Most sellers don't do this stuff. They price too high because their ego gets in the way. They skip the prep because they don't want to spend the money. They hire the wrong agent because they went from their cousin's friend's friend who does real estate on the side, and then they wonder why they netted $40K less than they should have. Don't be that person. You're watching this video, which means you are watching this video, which means you are already ahead of 90% of sellers out there. So take the next step. Book the call. Register for the webinar. Do something because the market does not wait, and neither should you. My name is Chris Cash. Before you sign, you got to get aligned. Let's get aligned. Las Vegas is for sale. Peace.